All right. Right, so welcome back for race 2 of the 4 today. On Sunday at sunny Pembrey. Very still, very little wind. Scooters are just off on their warm-up lap. So this is the first stock scooters race of the day. Not as many changes in this one as there is in Supers. Supers is obviously the one where we have people running stock scooters and Supers, because you can always be under spec and ride in that class. This one everyone's more or less on the same steeds, I believe. Jimmy on his Group 4E DCC Reparto course Umbretta. Gav Gray on his new colour scheme, Tornado Red number 73 production bike. Lovely colour, that red. So the scooters are off. Now just going down the last one through Ollie's as they go round to Brooklands hairpin. Yeah, I've been revising the names of the corners for this one. Been stood here saying I might lie to myself over and over again until I try and stick. They go down towards Honda. Form up on the grid for the race start. Should be waiting on the lights down there above the white van. See what Jimmy McNally can do in this one. He's been chasing Dave all weekend in both groups. Dave on his 4E in both. Jimmy's been riding the DSC number 11 bike as he's 37 in Group 6. After he had a engine issue with his Group 6. Very kindly Drew Duncan's lent him his Group 6 for the Supers races. I think Drew had a off in stock, folding his scooter in half and battering himself up a bit. So the revs are rising, the lights are on, and they're off and away. And it looks like Dave Bristow's got the whole shot, and it's Jim McNally, Simon Palmer, then Aidy Horrocks. Got Keith Terry and Damon looking up the inside of Aidy into that one as they come out now around Spitfires, just disappearing into view, out of view, sorry. And then they come into double left, approaching the centre S's. Dave's out in lead and Jim is in chase. There's Simon Palmer, Scott Thompson first in production, then Keith Terry first in Group 4, John Holt, Damon Yates, Jem Steele, then Aidy Horrocks. Got beaten up down at Hatchett's hairpin. He looked like he was further up the grid there. After yesterday's offers, he will have been more likely to give way. So they're now through the Brooklands hairpin, disappearing out of sight up onto the Speedway straight. And down into Honda. Now on the start finish straight already. So, where's Jimmy's catching a little bit, if anything, down there. He'll do well to outbrake the lighter machine of Dave Bristow into Hatchett's though. But someone's looking up the inside of Simon Palmer into Hatchett's. So yeah, Jimmy has closed down somewhat, coming out of Spitfire into here and then down to the centre S's. Jimmy looks up the inside, yeah. He's got it to stick into Ollie's. The head of Dave Bristow as we go up towards Brooklands hairpin. watching the helmets in the distance to see whether they're out of sight now, so we'll wait till they come back round. There's Rod. First time here for Rod, I think it is. No, that's a shame. See Gav pushing back, keeping himself fit. The leaders are now down the start-finish straight, and Dave's back out in front of Jimmy. Not sure where that happened, but somewhere between Speedway Straight and Honda, no doubt. There you go, disappearing into the lump there, into Spitfire. Coming through now, Dave's just starting to build a gap. Make sure that he's trying to keep on the power and keep Jimmy from making that same move through the centre S's. As we go down into Ollie's, Jimmy's closing again. Coming towards the Brooklands hairpin. Jimmy's closing again. Oh, he's right close. I can't see how that battle's turned out there. Further back, we've got Keith Terry leading that one with Jem Steele, then Adi Horrocks. John Holt goes up the inside of AD, unsettles him a little bit, sits him up. Park and watch. So back down, start finish straight now. Looks like Dave's in the lead again. Jimmy's making a battle of this one. He's determined to get one win out of the weekend. He's got one more race after this one in stocks and one more race in supers. But Dave's been on fire all weekend. Hard to catch. They've both got different strengths and weaknesses around the circuit. They've both been discussing the rides between themselves. Both enjoying the battle. Dave probably enjoyed it that little bit more as he keeps coming out on top. But Jimmy is determined to do everything he can to make a fight of it. And we've got Scott Thompson, your production leader. Third in 4E, Simon Palmer, and some gap back to now first in Group 4, Damon Yates. Then we've got this gaggle while they're all over the place, swapping lines and positions. Haley going around the outside of Keith Terry, into the centre S's, down to Ollie's. Wide but still on the power. And then we've got, I think it's Gary Smith, Joe Palmer, Dave Cann, and that'll be Kale in the orange vest. So the leaders are already down, the start finish straight, and now Dave's just started to build a little bit of a gap. But they've got Rod Shipley to negotiate as they come through Spitfires into Selwyn's with the first the left-hander here. Rod's in Selwyn's, Dave comes through. He knows they're there, so he's took a wide line. He's going, well, that's one of them. Where's the other one? Jimmy might not catch him in such a sweet spot. He's going up the inside, nice and clean. So look back, AD out breaking Jem Steele into Hatchets, but goes a little bit deep, and then Jem gets back past him. And John Holt's now on the back of AD. So Damon Yates coming through first in Group 4. And the Warren Wilkinson Group 4 machine. And Jem Steele now, as you can see, he's got a little bit of a gap over AD. AD's got a more powerful bike, but he's just feeling his way into today after yesterday's offs. And Gary Smith, Dave Cann, Joe Palmer goes up the inside of Cale Stevens. I think Cale will have a better run down out of the centre S's down towards Ollie's. But no, Joe Palmer holds that position. A good little production, small frame scrap between those two. Cale won't give up. We go down to Brooklands hairpin. And your leader's back with us now, coming through Selwyn's. It's got quite a gap now. Hammer down. No more playing. Let's get gone. But Jimmy is still on fire, doing everything he can to keep up with him. Another lonely one for Scott in production. but a dominant first place in that one. And Simon Palmer comes through third in 4E, so I think our next production bike will be Gem. Yeah, because that's Damon. Adie's now got past him, but Gem's second, John Holt third in production. So John will be trying to reel Gem in now to have 3 out of the 4 second places in production. Gary Smith now leading those 3 there. Cale has got past Joe Palmer now. Now looking at trying to do the same to Dave Cannon. Nice tight lines, try and stay on the power. Dave probably having to roll off as he went a little bit wider. See Cale got a yellow flag down at that, but it's only a yellow flag. So I always miss some action. So we've got a yellow flag here at Centre S's. It's going to make it troublesome for them that are in that bunch of 4 all scrapping. Just wondering when they'll clear the yellow flag's backed off from that position. So at least through the Centre S's, it's still showing the yellow down at Ollie's though. Simon Palmer doing well on his 4E Lambretta, Hans Union. Damon just going past Rod on his first in Group 4. When we look back, it's now a 3-way scrap, not a 4-way scrap. It seems to have dropped Keith Terry a little bit. And Graham Tatton's now in that mix as well with John Holt and Gem for the production class second place. Gary Smith, Cale coming round the outside, Joe Palmer on the inside just nicked that better line and carried a bit more speed. Frantically trying to find third gear to power through the Centre S's down to Ollie's. And he's in front of Cale. Dave Bristow's already on him. That may slow him down somewhat, having 3 people to negotiate in one go. But he's got a fair gap over Jimmy, so it shouldn't be too much bother. And we've got Scott Thompson again. You can see how much smoother his production bike is through there than his Group 6 bike is, that he's been having handling issues with, snaking as he comes out of the Centre S's down to Ollie's. So Adie should be popping up not far behind Damon Yates now, I think, as Damon still maintains the lead in Group 4. Have I missed him? John Holt looks up the inside of Gem. Will he be able to hold it? No, Gem's got the speed, just cuts inside. John now looking on the outside down into Ollie's. So the yellow flag could have been Adie. I haven't seen him. Dave Bristow comes past Gary Smith. He's got past those 3 having the battle. Joe Palmer doing really well in this. Oh! Commentator's curse. He's up and he's okay. That was a bit of a roll. He just lost the back end trying to power into that. Wish I'd never said it now. Can't be responsible, but I obviously feel a little bit responsible just saying how well he was doing. But that's quite often what happens when you push and push and push to find the limit. When you find the limit, it tends to end up on the grass. But he's walked away, everything's alright. I think the scooter didn't look too bad either, so hopefully he'll be out for the next one later on this afternoon to make amends for that. So now this 3-way battle between John Holt's got through on Gem and Graham. And Graham's got past Gem. Gem's gone from 2nd to 4th on that production battle. Keith Terry now being hunted down by Tim Simpson on the DSC production Lambretta. As Dave comes through. We've got a yellow flag here and then green flag down there, so not quite sure why there's the yellow flag's here because Joe's bike's still on the grass. I don't want anyone else going off in the same place and collecting the scooter along the way. Can't be far off the finish now. Damon Yates comes through on his group 4. And John Holt, Graham, Jem. Keith Terry. Tim Simpson. And Dave now coasting, so that'll be the checkered flag. Another win for Dave. That battle now stretching out. John's got past him. He's able to just get in his groove and start to eke away from Graham, and they've both left Jem, which is surprised because Jem was so much in front of him earlier on, but just lost that head of speed. Obviously, as the scooters warm up and heat up, they can sometimes sap the power a little bit. So scooter's coming back now into the paddock. Another great race from the production stock scooter, sorry. Another win for Dave Bristow. Another second for Jimmy. And then let's have a look back for that battle in production. For second place in production, John Holt had it going out of view into Brooklyn's hairpin. And it looks like, yeah, he's maintained that. So second in production for John, third for Graham Tatton, fourth for Dennisfield. Great ride from Scott again. So that's it for this one. We shall be returning after lunch break, no doubt. Well, I might actually make it before lunch because there's not much of a gap between, because where the supers are the first race of the day and stocks are second to last. There's only 2 races in between, so we might be out for lunch. So just keep your eye on your notifications. But if we do hit lunchtime, we may just decide to split the programme at lunchtime to completion the next race. But stand by for the notifications and tune in for this afternoon's fun with one more super and one more stock race. Thanks for joining us.